thinking about somewhere to go for a holiday, I think everyone should think about coming up to Cairns, especially if you're in the southeast of our state and you've never had the opportunity to come up here. It is absolutely beautiful, and I know that everyone here will issue you a very, very warm welcome. Well, today we'll do just a quick update about COVID, so I can report that overnight we've had 2 new cases and they are linked with existing known cases, so we're very comfortable with that. That takes our active cases to 28. Our total confirmed cases is 1,126. And in some good news, the number of tests conducted in the last 24 hours is 18,151. So that's great news. So thank you everyone for coming out and getting tested. And just remember, keep up your social distancing, that good hand hygiene, and if you're sick, please go and get tested. Well, today, this morning, it's wonderful to do the sod turning of the Cairns Convention Centre. This is one of our signature infrastructure projects, and when we talk about our strong plan for economic recovery, we need to make sure that we have our infrastructure projects creating jobs happening right across the state. So $176 million will go into the Convention Centre, over 570 jobs, including apprentices, good local strong content, but also making sure that the expansion of this convention centre sets Cairns up for the future, and that's tourism and events. There's going to be a sky terrace. This is exactly what Cairns has been telling us they want, and that is exactly what my government is delivering. I want to also pay tribute to Curtis Pitt. Curtis has been a driving force behind this Cairns Convention Centre, and of course Michael Healy, the member for Cairns, also sings the praises of the Convention Centre from the rooftops. So I'll hand over to Curtis to say a few words, and Michael Healy, and then Mick de Brenny, and then we're happy to take a few questions. And I might just mention too, to the Mayor, first time ever I've been to a sod turn where the shovel has broken, and Mayor, you've got some extra strength there, but I tell you, today takes the cake. I've never seen that before. All right, Curtis?
Thanks very much, Premier. This is a terrific day. As we know, the Cairns Convention Centre has been a very important part of our local economy, built by a Labor government in its first iteration. Now we're seeing its expansion under another Labor government. I'm really proud of this project because it's probably one of those investments which, as you've heard, will set us up for decades and decades to come. As we all know, convention business is big business, and of course when we are able to welcome people interstate and from overseas again, we're going to see an opportunity to have 2 events happening simultaneously. We're going to ensure that we can get bigger and better conventions, and clearly the tourism benefits to our local economy are enormous. Particularly, of course, our local accommodation houses, who are going to be filling their rooms once we get the numbers of people through. This has been a great investment. I'm very, very proud of to be associated with it. I thank the Premier and Minister de Brenny for being here today to do the sod turning with us. This is a landmark project here for the far north, and very importantly, the technological updates that are going to occur here will help the convention space, but really clearly it's going to be a bigger and better permanent home for the Cairns Taipans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Curtis. Good morning, everybody. I'd also like to acknowledge the outstanding work of Curtis in his role, and also the Premier and the Minister. This is an absolute outstanding investment in our future as a city. This is a key economic driver. Before we started the refurbishment and the expansion of this facility, it was generating around $80 million through our city. At the completion of this upgrade and expansion, we'll be looking at around about $130 million. We are a tourism city, and events are a key part of that. So to expand and upgrade the infrastructure is a significant investment in the future of our city. It provides jobs. We've got a lot of locals working on this, a significant percentage, over 85%, as was guaranteed. This is an outstanding commitment to our future, and it will continue to contribute economically as we move forward. And I thank the Premier, I thank Curtis once again, and I also echo the Premier's remarks. I have never seen the Mayor break a shovel before. Thank you.
Well, today is truly an historic day for Cairns. Today marks the official commencement of the expansion works here at the Cairns Convention Centre. I'm also very pleased to update you that the refurbishment works worth $50 million are on track for early completion in 2021, with the entire project planned for completion in mid-2022. The construction workforce here on site now is up to 256. It'll get up to 570 workers strong throughout the course of the project. And I'm very pleased to announce today that the managing contractor is exceeding all of our targets. All of the targets we set about making sure that the Cairns Convention Centre refurbishment and expansion plays a key role in the economic recovery of far north Queensland. They are exceeding their targets around local workforce. We're exceeding our targets around the Indigenous workforce, and we're exceeding our targets around apprentices and trainees. And I want to congratulate everybody involved in the construction workforce for those incredibly important outcomes. The jobs that have been created here are so important to this community. This morning we were joined by one of those apprentices, Indigenous Queenslander Jarvid Bowen. He's a first-year electrical apprentice, probably better known for his career as a North Queensland cowboy. But he and dozens of other young Queenslanders are finding their first job on a major project right here in Cairns on the Convention Centre project. Now, I just want to spare a thought for workers like Jarvid in other states around Australia that are not doing so well in terms of managing the global pandemic. If we were in some other states in Australia, there would be a 75% reduction in the workforce on site. And here, at a project like this, that would mean that 192 of the workers that we saw beside us or behind us this morning would not have been able to come to work. And so the effective management of the health challenge means that significant economic projects like this one are able to continue, and workers like Jarvid can continue to have a job. Now, I want to acknowledge some of the partners in the delivery of this significant project as well. Of course, the Premier acknowledged the strength of Mayor Bob Manning this morning, strong enough to break a shovel, and an historic day indeed, and a first time as well, Premier. I've never seen that either. TTNQ, Advance Cairns, and the Cairns Chamber of Commerce have all been partners in ensuring that local companies are able to find work here on this site. And as I said, at the moment we're exceeding all of those targets around the local workforce. So I look forward to seeing the completion of the Cairns Convention Centre. I know that Cairns locals are looking forward to seeing the Taipans back on their home court here in early 2021 as well. The additional $50 million that'll be pumped into the Cairns economy because of the additional Convention Centre revenue will circulate throughout Cairns businesses here, whether they're hotels or restaurants. This is a key investment in the future of Cairns, and I want to congratulate everybody from the apprentices involved to the leadership of the local members and the Premier for their foresight in investing in this significant project. Thanks very much.
Any questions on the Cairns Convention Centre? I don't have that with me, but it's absolutely necessary, and of course the government was pleased to come in and back that to make sure that their season could continue. Yep.
Just on the borders, Premier, have you allowed hundreds of AFL people into Queensland from Melbourne, where there are thousands of cases, yet are people asking for leniency for medical and business purposes from Melbourne, New South Wales, where there is not one single active case?
No, what we've said very clearly is that there's going to be a unit that's going to be set up by the end of the week for anyone who is having issues with dealing with specialist appointments. I made that very clear. In relation to the AFL, they have had a long-standing COVID-safe plan, an industry-safe plan, and that plan is not dissimilar to what has happened in other states.
The World Health Organisation has said the biggest threat to countries with coronavirus is big amplifying events, given there is no significant community spread.
Sorry, I can't hear the first part of the question.
So the World Health Organisation has said the biggest threat to countries with coronavirus was big amplifying events. Given there is no significant community spread, or given there is a significant community spread in southeast Queensland, do you propose to pack together?
Sorry, what's the significant spread?
Significant spread of coronavirus.
But there isn't.
in southeast
But there isn't. It's contained. No, there is not. That's not correct.
Do you propose to pack together at capacity?
No, that's not correct. I reject the premise of your question.
On the AFL, AFL, would you
Yes.
say you're much of a fan of the winning premiership side last year?
Richmond won last year,
What do you know
the Tigers, the mighty Richmond Tigers, but I want the Lions hopefully in the final, fingers crossed. And they're number 3 on the ladder, I think, at the moment, Jess.
Do you know what a goal's worth as well?
6. Yeah, there you go. Anything else? Sorry? Well, let's wait and see. We haven't heard from the AFL yet. I know there's been a lot of media speculation out there. I know there's a lot of excitement that's building. But of course, if we were lucky, we would embrace that. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it is also, it would be an honour to safeguard that for 1 year, knowing that Victoria's gone through a really, really difficult time. And our hearts go out to Victorians at the moment. I know families are doing it tough, businesses are doing it tough, and if we were successful, we would of course deal with that respectfully. Oh, it would just be millions of dollars. But I think, Jess, what's really important here too is the ability to grow the game in Queensland. I mean, we know that Victoria is the home of the AFL, but we are seeing with the Lions and the Suns, the game is growing. We have some teams coming here to Cairns. Cairns and Mackay are also very strong regional centres. And I'm really pleased to see so many young women and young girls getting involved in the game as well. And I know, looking back to when I was at school, women weren't allowed to participate in certain sports. It is great to see today these opportunities, and I think growing the game would be wonderful. I think that would be absolutely fantastic, and of course that would be part of the legacy item that we pushed with the AFL. Look, we have to keep the border measures in place to keep Queenslanders safe. And what I want to see with more flights coming on, was great that we saw that the Jetstar flight from Gold Coast to Cairns. We've got Brisbane to Cairns is the busiest route in the country at the moment for airlines. I want Queenslanders, especially who haven't seen Cairns before in the tropical far north, to come here and experience it firsthand. And anyone who lives here, I know will offer a welcoming out for others to come here.
Just on water irrigation, why
Yes.
have you chosen Ross Garneau to head your water?
Yeah, so we've got Ross Garneau as chairing that. We've also got Queensland Farmers Federation and Georgina and Professor Alan Dale. This is really important. Our government said that we would look at the economics of it, look at the benefits to agriculture, but also to have a really thorough look at what a Bradfield scheme would look like. This is the first time that a comprehensive study has been done, and we really want that panel to report back within a year. So Ross Garneau is very highly respected, and I think he's the right choice to head up that panel.
Why haven't you announced an actual policy rather than just a panel to review things, because it initially attacked Deb's policy would be?
No, I think we were the first ones out that talked about it, actually, if you go back and look at the history. Yeah.
How would you describe your relationship with your New South Wales counterpart, given you spoke directly and said, I've tried to establish a positive relationship, but it's a bit difficult when decisions are made without what you've been telling us, and about to gain
I don't have any issues with working with any of my colleagues around the country. In fact, we all have very good working relationships.
Premier, just on the AMAQ survey, showing doctors have little
Yep.
faith, is it concerning that doctors have little faith in the government weeks out from the election?
Well, look, in terms of, no, we will always work with the AMA, and any issues, the Health Minister and the Chief Health Officer will absolutely work with them. Yep.
Do you have enough resources, and is your advice being heeded by the government?
Yeah, look, I am not aware of any shortages of any supplies. We went to the big warehouse the other day. There is enough supply out there.
Do you have an update to pandemic pay for the health workers?
No, I don't. I'll ask the Health Minister.
What's your response to criticism that the convention centre, a lot of the jobs, a lot of the big contracts are done with the southern companies and they're subcontracting to local workers?
Well, I think, what you're seeing here is we've just met local workers on the local project, and that's what people want to see. They want to see local people get the employment here, and $176 million is a big investment in Cairns. I mean, this is going to be a fantastic convention centre. It has been. It's going to be expanded, and it's exactly what Cairns and the Tropical Far North need. This is to kickstart tourism when we can get to that stage where people can freely travel. Just a couple more because I have some other things to get to.
On the convention centre test case,
Yeah.
Best practice principles.
Yes.
Like, is it reasonable that workers on this side are being paid like twice what other people can doing?
I don't think that's the case. I can get Mick DeBrenny to address that. But no other questions for me? Sorry, who is? Oh, the Catters. Oh, okay, yeah.
Are accusing your government of ignoring warnings from Indigenous leaders about sexual violence, including scrapping the university's successful membership program. Is there any discussion about reinstating the program with the meetings of leaders as well?
No, but look, we actually met with the mayors and we had a round table with them. So all of my cabinet sat down with the Indigenous mayors from right across Queensland. A lot of issues were raised. We did talk about domestic and family violence. The Minister for the Prevention of Domestic and Family Violence was there, and of course we will look at any measures that we can put in place to help our communities. Not about that one, but I'm happy to look at that one for you. Yeah. Okay.
I think you had a tourism roundtable as well. Did you learn anything new, or was it more of the same?
No, it was really good. There were lots of ideas there. I think it's sort of put in perspective that, Cairns and Tropical Far North is a very, very big area. And of course, the tourism impacts are not just in the centre here, they're in the surrounding districts as well. I had some people tell me that what they have seen in their local communities is that people are shopping locally and buying locally, and that's been good for their local economies. But areas like Port Douglas and areas like Kuranda are feeling the impacts of tourism, the downturn in tourism. So we're looking at some measures specifically for them. The marine operators have been hit hard. So that's another reason we need people from the southeast to come up here to Cairns, go out and explore the Great Barrier Reef and keep our marine operators in jobs. So we've assisted them with our small business grants and the waiving of some of the fees as well. So, these are small steps, but they're working, and I really thank them for coming and being so upfront and honest with me about different issues. And they also raised two other really important issues, one which I'll raise with the Prime Minister. They are very concerned about JobKeeper running out. I mean, that was a very constant theme from a number of operators, very, very concerned about that. And the high rate of insurance premiums. So that's another issue that I'll ask the Treasurer to raise with Josh Frydenberg.
Have you also asked for a waiving of registration for the boats and the touring vehicles that aren't being used at the moment?
Sorry, who has?
TTNQ had raised waiving of registration
Yep.
for the tour boats and the tour vehicles that aren't being used at the moment.
Yeah. Look, we'll have a look at that. We've done the waiving of the marina fee, so if they want to put that in writing to us, we'll have a look at it.
Can I just ask you about prisoners? Are you satisfied with the treatment that they are receiving in prison?
Well, look, we are, of course, I addressed this yesterday, it's a very difficult situation at the moment in terms of ensuring that our prisons are COVID-free. So these measures are no different to the quarantine measures that have to be put in place to keep everyone safe. So I know that Commissioner Martin is on top of it. I also spoke to Minister Mark Ryan yesterday as well, Minister for Corrective Services and Minister for Police, and we are very confident that there are plans out there, COVID-safe plans, and these are the plans that were put in place to address occurrences such as this. So it is, it's difficult, it's absolutely difficult, and I thank our staff out there who are doing an extraordinary job in very, very difficult times. I'll get Mick DeBrenny to address that final question, and then we have to go. Sorry, well, my understanding was that he was positive when he actually arrived, is my advice. That's my understanding, yeah. So they've actually put out an alert for that plane, but I'll get Stephen Miles to double check that with you. Mick?
Thanks, Premier. So, is there a question?
Yeah, a question about best practice rules.
Yeah.
We have heard that the workers or contractors employed by landlords you reckon the state government were earning twice as much on this job as they would be on a building across the road that's a non-government job? Is that fair? Is that right?
Decent wages fair? Of course decent wages are fair. We have set a standard where we believe workers should get good wages, good conditions, a safe workplace, and I've spoken to the workers on site this morning. They all think it's fair. Apprentices like Jarvid, who've got their first shot on a major project, feel like the conditions are fair. We always think it's fair to make sure that workers get the sorts of wages they deserve.
But given the climate here in the far north, is it practical?
I don't accept the premise that driving down wages is a good outcome for the Cairns economy. Everybody wants to see workers get a decent wage. These men and women on this project, they do tough work, they're dedicated to their work, they're professionals and they deserve decent pay. Stand by that.
Thank you. Do you know
Yeah.
the follow-up stadium for Cairns?
Oh, look, I don't have those figures with me, but I think the value to the Cairns Taipans and this community by being able to play that season at home, well, that's just priceless.
Yeah.
Are you able to get those figures?
I'll come back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.